We're dealing with the idea of the connection between wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in whether or not we keep it. Is it wise to keep the covenant? Does it take understanding and knowledge to keep the covenant? So this is what Proverbs is talking about. We have a very active role in this thing called covenant. And part of it is that he does have things he specifies that he wants us to do or not do. Now it says here to make your ear attend to wisdom and incline your heart to understanding. We're also told that the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of these things. We're told that he wants us to love him and give him attention and focus on him with all our heart, our mind, our being, etc. These are all very active things. He already had in mind what the earth should be like. He had in mind how things should be behaviorally, how the relationship. He knows how those things should work, how we should relate to each other, how we should relate to him. So in this covenant, the beautiful part about it, not that there's just one little piece, but one of the greatest beauties about the whole thing is that he is telling us that he's going to give us the things we need to be successful in this thing called life that he gave us. He gave us life. And he didn't give it to us to just stumble along without any understanding what he expects and how it really works. But he's telling us that we need to make our ear attend to his wisdom, that we have inclined our hearts to his understanding. Then maybe this stuff will start to make sense. And what I have promised you from his word, because he promises it, in the doing you will get the understanding. But you have to be doing what he said, the way he said it, the way he intended it. And by the way, I know Christianity loves to do that. We like to receive the whole counsel of the word. I don't think I've ever heard that in a synagogue ever mentioned, but the whole counsel. Well then fine, get the whole counsel. Read what it says from Genesis and then all the way through to the prophets and then all the way through to the Brit and everywhere else and see that there's a consistent message through and not the stuff that the charismatics or the Lutherans or the Catholics or the Baptists or the Adventists or whatever denomination has taught you. Let the whole counsel come and find yourself a teacher that teaches the whole counsel of the book. I mean, think about it. He says, you would cry out for discernment, you lift up your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for the hidden treasures, search for her as hidden treasures, then you would understand to respect and have awe and reverence for Yahweh. He wanted to see how hard you were going to work for this. How bad do you want it? And so you search. And by the way, sometimes he's going to allow you to have the fruit of your efforts that while you're searching, he's going to show you. You don't always need a teacher, but often enough, because that still gets you plugged into the process. Are we seeing stability in the body with everybody thinking that the Ruach leads them all individually one at a time? No. Do you know that it says, when, I don't know how many times we talk about this, but it says that there was each one doing what was right in their own eyes because there was no, what? There was no king. There was no sovereign. There was no authority. They were on their own thrones. So each one being on their own throne did whatever was right in their own eyes. After all, if you're the king, you do what you want. He's a shield to those walking blamelessly. He's not going to protect you just when you're perfect, but when you do the right thing, even when you're not perfect. Matter of fact, I think you impress him more based on how you respond to when you mess up than when you're just doing everything right. Because we all do things right for a period of time. But what do you do when you make that mistake, when you trip and you fall and you stumble and you're tempted in some direction? That's when he's really paying attention and watching and going, okay, I want to see what she does now, what he does now. Now, he didn't say that when he does these things that he knows you're going to make it. That's your choice. But he calls you knowing that you can. Understand the difference. He didn't call you guaranteeing and assuring that just because he called you, you're in. But he called you knowing all the things you would go through and that you can do it. You can make it through. Now it's up to you to show that that's the case. The body as a whole, no, I'm going to stop there. The world as a whole has a real challenge with situational awareness. That's something I don't know if anybody uses that phrase, but that's a big phrase for me. I try to teach my children that. I teach people who I counsel that there's things that are appropriate situationally and not appropriate situationally, and you use discretion to know which is which. But it has to start with an awareness. If you're not aware of the situation that you're in before you decide to do something, you're not going to use the discretion necessary to do the right thing in that right moment. You cannot be kinda, sorta covenanted. Either you are or you're not. It's like being kinda pregnant. Can't. You're pregnant or you're not. Okay, so you're either in covenant or you're not. If you are putting your spin, your thoughts, or some other way on His word, you are no longer covenanted. Covenant says you're going to do it His way, always.